Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So, continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Prahlad pacifies Lord Nrsimhadev with prayers, text number 9 onwards. So, as we studied yesterday, Prahlad Maharaj was pushed by Brahmaji, Shivji, and everybody because Nrsimhadev was not being pacified. He was still very, very angry. Even Lakshmiji was scared to go in front of Lord Nrsimhadev. And when Prahlad Maharaj came forward, 5-year-old little boy, first he did was paid obeisances. And this just pleased Lord Nrsimhadev. And he very caringly, he put his lotus hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head and blessed him. And then Prahlad Maharaj started speaking. And first thing that he said was, how can I satisfy you? Even Brahmaji cannot satisfy you. Who am I? I don't have any qualifications. And this is, as Prabhupada said, this is the best qualification to please the Lord, the humility. Understanding I don't have any qualities. Whatever I have is by the mercy of the Lord or my Guru. But on my own, I don't have anything. Text 9. Manya dhanabhi jana rupa tapah shutojas teja prabhava bal paurush buddhi yoga naradhanaya hi bhavanti parasya punso bhaktya tutosha bhagwan gajayutha paya. Prahlad Maharaj continued, one may possess wealth and aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. So all kinds of materialistic qualifications, they don't satisfy the Lord. The Lord is ultimately what? He is full in 6 opulences, full, not just better than anybody else. He's full. So any of these qualities, they basically expansions of those 6 opulences. And one who has it in full, how can he look forward to these qualities in anybody else? He doesn't care. All he wants is devotional service. All he wants is the surrender. That's what pleases him. No kind of material qualification is a means for satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, only by devotional service can the Lord be known. Unless the Lord is pleased by the service of a devotee, the Lord does not reveal himself. This is the verdict of all Shastras. Neither by speculation nor by material qualifications can one understand or approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it doesn't mean if one has these qualities, he should not use them. One can use everything in service of the Lord. But understanding these qualities alone are not good enough. And here Prahlad Maharaj gives the example of Gajendra. So the story of Gajendra will come later on, I think in 8th canto. Beautiful, beautiful story. So Gajendra, he was an elephant. And when he surrendered, the Lord was pleased with him, pleased by his bhakti. So even elephant, and here Prahlad Maharaj being described, he was born in a demoniac family. Although he himself was a Mahabhagavad, but born in a demonic family. Hanumanji, not even human being. Shabri, there's so many examples. Garudji, that it's not that one has to have all the, even human, one has to be a human being to satisfy the Lord. That's not even necessary. Of course, as human beings, we have more opportunity to perform devotional service. But Gajendra wasn't a human being. Garudji is not. Hanumanji is not. They're much better. But that is the point, that devotional service, bhakti, can be done, performed by anybody and everybody. It just, one has to learn how to please the Lord. That's all. Vipra dvishad guna yutar vinda nabha padar vinda vimukhat shvapacham varishtam manne tad arpita mano vachane hitartha pranam punati sakulam natu bhurivana. If a Brahman has all 12 of the Brahminical qualifications, as they are stated in the book called Sanat Sujata, but is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything, mind, words, activities, wealth, and life, to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahman, because a devotee can purify his whole family, whereas a so-called Brahman in a position of false prestige cannot even purify himself. So that's the difference between a Brahman and a devotee. Brahman means just Brahman with all the qualifications, but who's not a devotee, who doesn't serve the Lord. Here is a statement by Prahlad Maharaj, one of the 12 authorities. So he's a Mahajan. And when he says something, it carries weight, lots of weight. Regarding the distinction between a devotee and a Brahman expert in Karma Kanda or Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. There are 4 varnas and 4 ashrams which divide human society. But the central principle is to become a first-class pure devotee. So what's the Karma Kanda or Vedic ritualistic ceremony performing Brahman? So what's the difference? Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, even devotees perform sometimes. Only difference is that Brahman who's a Smarta Brahman, they perform it to gain some money, not for the pleasure of the Lord. Same thing can be performed by a devotee, but not with the consciousness would be to please the Lord for his satisfaction. And devotional service, which is beyond this Vedic ritualistic ceremonies like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, if one performs that with true love for Krishna, with the mood of service, surrender, then that is pure devotional service. And the Brahman who is only interested in Karma Kanda, they don't perform all this. They have no interest in this. So that is why a devotee, as according to Prahlad Maharaj, is better than a Brahman. So if one is born in a high family like that of a Brahman, Kshatriya or Vaishya, but is not a devotee of the Lord, all his good qualifications as a Brahman, Kshatriya or Vaishya are null and void. Indeed, they're considered decorations of a dead body. Very, very heavy statements. In this verse, Prahlad Maharaj speaks of the Vipras, the learned Brahmins. The learned Brahman is considered best among the divisions of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. But a devotee born in a low Chandal family is better than such Brahmins, not to speak of Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and others. A devotee is better than anyone, for he is in the transcendental position on the Brahman platform. That's the power of devotion service. Of course, a devotee never thinks he's better than anybody else. He's always in a mood to serve others. But according to scriptures and scriptures are what? Scriptures are eyes of the Supreme Lord. So according to the Supreme Lord, they're better than even Brahmins, or not just Brahman, a Vipra. So they are Pandit, then there's somebody else I'm forgetting, and then they're Vipras. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. The 12 qualities of a first-class Brahman, as stated in the book called Sanata Sujata, are as follows. Jnanam cha satyam cha dama shrutam cha hi amat saryam hrishtitikanshu kana suya yagyascha danam cha dhriti samascha mahavrita dwadash brahmanasya. So Brahman means, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I have made this 4 varnas and ashrams based on guna and karma, the quality and the work one does, not according to birth. So the qualities of a Brahman are what? As mentioned in this book, Sanat Sujata. Of course, Prabhupada didn't go through all these qualities. So Jnanam cha Satyam, so Gyan, he should have knowledge. Satyam speaks the truth. Dhamma means control his senses. Shrutam, he should be learned. And Amata Saryam means no jealousy. Titikshana Shuya means Titiksha means tolerant. Anasuya, again, no enviousness. So on Yagyas, he should perform Yagya. Danam, he should give charity, not just take money. He should give charity also. Dhriti means determined or controlled. Shamash means controlled. So these are the 12 qualities of Brahmins. The so-called Smarta Brahmins, we meet them so many times in India, but they don't have these kind of qualities. But a devotee, on the other hand, even if he doesn't have these qualities, but he is engaged in devotional service, he is better than a Brahman. Because sooner or later he will develop these qualities by the power of devotional service and by the association he is keeping. And this is what Prabhupada says, the European and American devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement are sometimes accepted as Brahmins, but the so-called caste Brahmins are very much envious of them. In answer to such envy, Prahlad Maharaj says that one who has been born in a Brahmin family but is falsely proud of his prestigious position cannot even purify himself. So the idea behind any human birth in any varna or ashram is to purify one's consciousness. Not to speak, so here Prabhupada says he cannot even purify himself, not to speak of his family. Whereas if a chandal, a low-born person, is a devotee and has fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord, he can purify his entire family. We have had actual experience of how Americans and Europeans, because of their full Krishna consciousness, have purified their whole families. So much so that a mother of a devotee at the time of her death inquired about Krishna with her last breath. So this mother of a devotee, I'm forgetting the name of who it was. I think Brahmanand Maharaj, but I'm not really sure. The mother of this devotee, of course, she didn't take up the process, but she was always inquiring from her son, what do you do? Because first of all, motherly affection for sons is always there. And they get worried about when the son takes up something new, some new path is following. And out of motherly love, she would always ask, and he would be he would be very respectful, and he would explain to her what he is doing and what he follows. So just by this kind of talk with her son, so when she was at her deathbed and this Prabhu or Maharaj went to see her, and she inquired about Krishna. What does he look like, or something like that. What happens in Krishna Loka, or something like that, she asked. And then she left her body. Of course, when such a devotee, or when a son of a family becomes a devotee, everybody gets benefited. That's the beauty of devotional service. Therefore, it is theoretically true and has been practically proven that a devotee can give the best service to his family, his community, his society, and his nation. The foolish accuse a devotee of following the principles of escapism. Escapism means they think that devotees are just escaping the realities of the life, that they are not taking responsibilities of parents or the family, or they're not making money and not contributing to the society. But actually, the fact is that a devotee is the right person to elevate his family. A devotee engages everything in the service of the Lord, and therefore is always exalted. So that is the beauty of devotion service. And the Lord is very, very grateful to the family, not just immediate family, even the extended family of such a devotee. Nevat manah prabhurayam nijlabh purno manam janad vidusha karuno vrinite yad yad jano bhagvate vidadhita manam tachat mane pratimukhasya yatha mukhashrihi. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in himself. Therefore, when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee, for the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. So one thing we have to understand, when the Lord asks us to do service, manmana bhav, mad bhakto, madyaji, mam namaskuru, he is not asking for his satisfaction. He is asking us to do this because we will make advancement. We will purify ourselves by that service. In Bhakti Yoga, it is recommended that a devotee follow 9 principles, Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. This service of glorifying the Lord by hearing, chanting, and so on is not, of course, meant for the benefit of the Lord. This devotional service is recommended for the benefit of the devotee. The Lord is always glorious, whether the devotee glorifies him or not. But if the devotee engages in glorifying the Lord, the devotee himself automatically becomes glorious. Cheto Darpanam Arjanam. By glorifying the Lord constantly, the living entity becomes purified in the core of his heart. And thus he can understand that he does not belong to the material world, but is a spirit soul whose actual activity is to advance in Krishna consciousness so that he may become free from the material clutches. Material clutches. Clutches means like a clamp. When it goes around something, it doesn't let go. So the material world is like that. So when we start glorifying the Lord or start engaging in these devotional principles, we start losing our material consciousness and start developing spiritual consciousness. And that's how Maya starts to let go of us. Thus, the blazing fire of material existence is immediately extinguished. A foolish person is amazed that Krishna orders, Sarva dharmana patityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja, abandon all varieties of religious activities and just surrender unto me. Some foolish scholars even say that this is too much to demand. But this demand is not for the benefit of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, it is for the benefit of human society. If human beings individually and collectively surrender everything to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full Krishna consciousness, all of human society will benefit. We think if I give it to the Lord, I will lose something, whether it's time or effort or money. No, we'll not be losers. We'll be the ultimate gainers, actually. One who does not dedicate everything to the Supreme Lord is described in these verses, avidusha, a rascal. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself speaks, namam dushkritino mura. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion and who partake of the theistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. So those who are lowest of mankind, they don't surrender. But those who are good or best people, they surrender. Because of ignorance and misfortune, the atheists and the naradhams, the lowest of men, do not surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, although the Supreme Lord Krishna is full in himself, he appears in different yugas to demand the surrender of the conditioned souls, so that they will benefit by becoming free from the material clutches. In conclusion, the more we engage in Krishna consciousness and render service unto the Lord, the more we benefit. Krishna does not need any service from any of us. And also in the shloka, there was Prahlad Maharaj gives an example. If one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. So what does that mean? When we want to, suppose we are doing our makeup and we are looking into the mirror. So we don't put makeup on the reflection or on the image. We put the makeup on ourselves, on the face, the real face, not the image, not the reflection. So now if we project it on the other reality, so this material world is illusory. This body is also not real, it's temporary. It is there, but it's temporary. And the real self is a soul. So if the soul is decorated, or if we perform service to the Lord, do the spiritual activity, the real activity, then the reflection also becomes decorated, means the material activity also becomes decorated, or the material body also gets decorated, because we are working on the real thing. Here, everybody is trying to decorate these dead bodies, the illusion, source of illusion. But that doesn't help in decorating the soul. So if in a mirror, if I put makeup on the mirror thinking that the image is getting decorated, so image is not getting decorated and neither am I. So it's a wastage. So the decoration here means to bring forth the spiritual qualities of the soul, and then there will be definitely the good qualities in our body also. They'll develop, they will shine forth. So similarly, if we are serving the Lord, although Lord doesn't need service, but if we are serving the Lord, then everything becomes beautiful. But that service has to be proper service. So slowly, when we come to that level, definitely, not only everything will be beautiful, when we glorify the Lord, we also get glorified. When we, and also, even if we want to look at materially, the devotees in the movement who are there for really long time or serving very nicely and sincerely, even Matajis, they don't put on any makeup and their faces are always glowing. They have so much of energy in their bodies and the faces are glowing and they're always smiling. That is a real decoration. That is a real beauty. It comes forth. But that happens only when we engage ourselves in devotion service properly. And when we glorify the Lord, we get glorified. When we do some donation for the Lord, Lord gives back millions of times. Of course, sometimes he doesn't because he doesn't want his devotee to become proud of his wealth. But he does give back and he can give back. So this is the real, that when we glorify the Lord, when we please the Lord, we get pleased. Our senses get pleased easily. So the image, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in the mirror is also seen to be decorated. So that's all we have to do. And this is what Prahlad Maharaj, who's a Mahajan, who's an authority, he's asking us to do. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanva Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, very nice points to, again, to remind ourselves to break our egos. So beautifully, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned about the Brahmanas, who are the actual Brahmanas. And I do not define that the one who is born in the Brahmana family, they are only considered as the Brahman. So Prabhupada is amazing, actually.
Oh, yeah.
This
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
yeah, this purport serves as a good reminder. Every time I hear from you, every time I feel like it's a reminder for me to break my egos. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
That's for all of us. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.